Now, with the festive frenzy pushing up demand, airfares have been skyrocketing. And now, as far as ticket aggregators are concerned, they are quoting anywhere between 15 and 25,000 rupees a seat for a direct flight from Mumbai to Delhi until the weekend. And this comes just weeks after the government removed the price caps on airfares. The price caps imposed had set a minimum and maximum cost of tickets after air travel services resumed in May 2020. The cap was put in to ensure that airlines don't exploit consumers by overcharging through surge pricing. But let's get more perspective on this. Dipra is team lead at CAPA India and is joining us now. Great to have you with us, Dipra. Dipra, do tell us, as far as this festive season is concerned and the way we're seeing skyrocketing of these airfares, especially in that Mumbai-Delhi sector, is that unusual from the kind of spikes we've seen in the past this particular season? Because all of that pent-up demand, all of those caps that were put in place, now there are no caps. What are the underlying reasons and differences in this time of the year that we're seeing as opposed to the past?
You're absolutely right. Demand is incredibly high. And typically, this is a very peak season for the market, specifically domestic market. The demand in the domestic market has reached pre-COVID levels in the second half of financial year FY 2023. However, there are significant supply side issues. So one of them being there are supply chain issues related to engine delivery, which has resulted in aircraft being grounded. So we estimate that at the end of September 2022, close to 30 aircraft were grounded because of the lack of engines. Some airlines like Air India are trying to get their grounded fleet back in the air. And airlines like SpiceJet, which are now operating less than 50 aircraft. And this is in comparison to the 100 plus aircraft they were operating before COVID. Now, we have to also consider the fact that costs are at their peak. Fuel prices are at $92 a barrel, which is in India, it's about EF is around 1,15,000 per kiloliter. The currency is heavily depreciated at 82, 83 as per the US dollar. And that again heavily impacts airline costs. And usually the airlines are unable to pass these costs completely to the passenger. It's the same in Q2 and Q3 as well. The airlines will not be able to pass these costs to the passenger. And we can't forget the fact that airlines in FY 2021 and 2022, they lost about $78 billion. And FY 2023, our estimate is that they will make about losses of $1.4 to $1.7 billion. So airlines have no option but to increase fares to reflect their costs. Capacity is significantly constrained. Costs are at their peak. So it's logical to expect fares to rise, especially during the festive season.
Dipra, are you saying that fares are going to rise even further than this as we go deeper into a holiday season? Because winter is the time that we do a lot of travel. And you're saying that the demand is very much there and intact. So do you expect these fares to rise even further? And this, like you're saying, is for airlines to just stay afloat, because until now, they haven't been able to pass on the cost to customers. And as opposed to one expectation that after the caps were removed, we would see some kind of reversal of airfares that would be beneficial to flyers. Quite the contrast is happening, isn't it?
Actually, related to the fares, in the first quarter of FY 2023, low-cost carriers, which are effectively carriers like Indigo or SpiceJet, their fares were around 5,000 INR, which was the highest ever. The airlines still made losses, and when the fare caps were removed, the fares actually went down. In fact, after the fare caps were removed, airlines were able to charge lesser than what they were during the fare caps as well. That was one of the impacts as well. It wasn't just setting a ceiling on the higher end of the price, it was setting a ceiling on the lower end of the price spectrum. And in terms of the market, so it's a demand and supply game. Obviously, the airlines themselves, it's not in their best interest to lose out on demand. So the market should correct itself. In
The
any
market
case,
should correct
the
itself.
closer-
Yes, absolutely. You were saying, Dipra?
I was just saying, the closer you move to any departure date, the closer you book your flights to a departure date, the prices are usually a lot higher.
That is typical Dipra, but the kind of price hike that we are seeing, the fare hikes that we are seeing, going between 15 and 25,000 for the Mumbai-Delhi sector, I'm wondering whether it's restricted to certain sectors, or are we going to see it all across the board?
In some sectors, yeah, we will definitely see it. It's difficult to say to what level the price will increase, but it will be reflected in the market. Yeah.
Dipra, it's a pleasure getting your perspective on this. Thanks very much for joining us on this edition of Russia from CAPA.